Coming up on Mountain News this morning, people in one Kentucky county pray for the health of their judge executive after he was seriously injured in a car crash that also took his wife's life. And donations begin to pile in from across the state to help one eastern Kentucky community recover after a crash that left 19 people injured.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. Almost 5:33 here. I'm Dakota Makris. Thanks so much for waking up with us on this cold Friday morning, and you might just need you a cup of coffee to get moving this morning. Brandon, buddy, do you want to just come over here and so I can go back to the house?
Come on, Dakota.
You know what? Give me 30 more minutes. I'll wake up.
Okay.
I'll be good for the 6 o'clock.
I'm going to hold you to that. All right, let's take a look at our forecast this morning. It is a little cold, and we're also seeing a few snowflakes up toward the Rowan County area, up toward Moorhead, so we're keeping an eye on that. Not sure if they're reaching the ground. The moisture is there, but again, we'll take a look at the Moorhead camera here in just a few minutes to see what we can see. Up Jenkins Way, things are looking pretty quiet. A little light traffic over there, US 119, US 23, going up Jenkins Mountain into southwest Virginia, so no major issues. And it's cold. You can tell where those clouds are. Moorhead's at 32, Ashland's at 30. Clintwood, though, down south, 20, 18. In Jonesville, 17. In Monticello this morning, 20 in Manchester as well. 22 in London, 20 in Middlesboro. It's a lot of spots I think we'll see in the teens here pretty soon. It's not just us either. 27 St. Louis, 37 in the Big Apple, 38 Myrtle Beach, 30 Atlanta, 25 Huntsville, 35 over toward Louisville, and 30 in Indianapolis and Columbus this morning. All right, your day planner here. We'll add a few clouds in at times. I think we still see some sunshine, but temperatures will not climb too much. I think we make 40. Got close yesterday, but I think we pick up some wind, which can make it feel colder. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. Well, a community is mourning after a crash that badly injured this soon-to-be retired Carter County judge executive, and it killed his wife. 74-year-old Rose Malone was pronounced dead at the scene of the crash on I-64 near the Moorhead exit. Her husband, Mike Malone, was flown to a hospital in Lexington. Andrew Colgrove shows us how people in Carter County are grieving the loss.
Black ribbons placed on the entrances of the Carter County Courthouse in Grayson as the community prays for the recovery of Judge Executive Mike Malone and mourns the loss of his wife, Rose.
She was as beautiful outside as she was inside.
Investigators say the couple was traveling on I-64 in a truck Wednesday morning when they went off the road and down an embankment near the Moorhead exit.
His integrity and honesty is, just above reproach.
Mike Malone is also the owner of Malone Funeral Home in Grayson, where Bob Thomas is the managing partner. Mike was Bob's best man at his wedding.
I'd lost my father at 2.5, and, I'd always looked at him as kind of like a fatherly image.
Rose was a retired school teacher and loving mother and grandmother.
She was a great person inside and out. She loved her family better than anything.
Malone's second and final term as judge executive has been winding down. Bob says that he'd been looking forward to doing things he just hasn't had time to do, traveling and spending more time with his family and his wife.
I guess that kind of shows you how precious life is, that in a moment, in an instance, it can change. I mean, we can make a lot of plans for tomorrow, but that doesn't necessarily mean, we're going to get to fulfill them. I hate that part for him, but people that know him will know how strong he is.
Working at a funeral home, they're regularly in the position of trying to comfort others after a loss. Now on the other end, as many in the community are doing the consoling.
The outpouring and the prayers, concerns has been truly awesome.
Saying that prayers for Malone's emotional recovery will still be needed long after his physical wounds have healed.
That was Andrew Colgrove reporting. Well, a bus crash in Magoffin County earlier this week devastated the community. Several students and the driver remain in the hospital. As donations begin to pile in from across the state, people in Salyersville and across the county are beginning to feel the love. Magoffin County School Superintendent Chris Meadows says a tragedy like this shakes up a small town, and the community needs the support.
You know these people, and you've known the families for years, and when they hurt, you hurt. And I think that also helps to bring out all this goodness.
Meadows says they will take any kind of donation, but gas money is especially needed for families to afford driving hours away for medical care. Well, Lofton Hazelwood died in October of last year after he was found unresponsive at the University of Kentucky Farmhouse Fraternity House. The investigation by UKPD concluded there was no evidence to implicate anyone of criminal wrongdoing in his death, and added officials looked into allegations of hazing. This is despite a report from UK's Code of Student Conduct that found violations of hazing within the fraternity. Chad Hedrick reports.
Hazing is out of control throughout this country.
An emotional message from a grieving mother who is working to save lives after she says hazing led to her son's death last year.
He was so intoxicated that he could barely walk, and they ended up practically carrying him to a bedroom at the house. They laid him on a bed and took Snapchat pictures of him while they messed with his arms and his body.
In October, Lofton Hazelwood's family testified before lawmakers to push for stiffer hazing laws in Kentucky. A report obtained by the Kentucky Colonel details UK Police's investigation into Hazelwood's death from last year. It describes excessive drinking the night Hazelwood died, but because an active member in the room was not drinking, it was not considered hazing.
The definition of hazing is humiliation and sometimes dangerous initiation rituals, especially imposed on college students seeking membership to a fraternity or a sorority.
A separate report obtained by the Kentucky Colonel details findings from an investigation by UK's Student Code of Conduct. In it, they do find evidence of hazing in the fraternity, saying their investigation showed a deeply ingrained culture of alcohol and hazing behaviors. The report details a campout where new members are left in a field with wet firewood, 2 packs of raw hot dogs, water, and a lit cigarette, and are told to start a fire. Just a couple weeks before Hazelwood's death, the report says there was a scavenger hunt where new members were told to complete tasks, including flipping a porta potty with a new member inside and drinking a bottle of hot sauce and 40-ounce beer.
That was Chad Hedrick reporting. One of the Code of Conduct's findings did include evidence of forced consumption of food, alcohol, or drugs. Others were degrading or humiliating games and participation in activities that were illegal, including alcohol consumption. Only 13 states have anti-hazing laws that carry a felony charge. In Frankfurt, a bill called Loftons Law will be presented to lawmakers that would add Kentucky to that list. 22 people were recently arrested in Laurel County. Now they are facing various drug charges. The drug roundup was labeled Operation Oktoberfest 2022 by the Laurel County Sheriff's Office. The people who were arrested face charges ranging from trafficking meth, possession of heroin, meth, hydrocodone, cocaine, and drug indictment warrants, probation violations, persistent felony offenders, and/or complaint warrants. For a list of those arrested, you can find this story over on WYMT.com. Well, police in Laurel County are asking for your help finding 2 suspects they believe are involved in a recent burglary. We are told Josh Shelby and Mallory Saylor Lively are accused of taking guns and gun loading equipment, a Nintendo Switch, and several items of clothing. The owner of the items is offering a $1,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of Shelby and Saylor Lively and the recovery of those items. If you have information, you are asked to contact the Sheriff's Office by phone, Facebook, email, or the Sheriff's Office cell phone app. Well, the Letcher County Central High School dance team brought home first place in the regional competition during the weekend. Overcoming the devastation from the flooding in late July, pom-poms, uniforms, and signs were all destroyed, and 3 team members lost their homes. Head coach Casey Mullins says they worked hard to get to this point.
Our goal was always to hurry and get back to dance practice because they needed that normalcy and they needed that support system to get back to. And so winning region just kind of, gave us hope that everything is going to be okay and everything will get back to normal.
The team will be heading to the state competition in December. We're just ahead this morning. A famous actor opens up about a possible serious health issue he might face in the future after a DNA test reveals shocking results.
I've always heard the old saying, if it's going to be cold, it might as well snow. Well, I don't have any snow for you, at least for the majority of the region, but I do have the cold. I'll tell you how long it can last in about 3 minutes.